I would say that it's very important to see things as they are, not as we've been conditioned to see them as. There's such a big distinction. One is based on a very limited, narrow view of perception, which is false. We're mistaking the appearances for reality, for fact, instead of seeing that it's about facts over feelings or perception, principles over personality. That's what one must do to stand strong in the self. Most wouldn't see it that way because they are asleep. They still have been hypnotized into believing in a localized sense of self or identity, and they refuse to have their OS updated. Their ego or false self is the clone that we give all our power and energy to. This persona or algorithm, what we perceive as our identity, our preferences, our fears, desires. In modern terms, you could even call it a digital copy, replicating our thoughts and creating cookies, programs. It's a string of code that imitates certain conditioned human behavioral patterns and creates a firewall that limits our conscious choices. It keeps us in a very narrow bandwidth, which makes us trapped in the hell of our own making. We become cogs in the machine. Non-player characters conform to the needs and wants of society. Buying an ideal house, raising children, having a job, living without really thinking for ourselves and being willing to take any chances. They become part of the program of the matrix and cannot break the game rules. They cannot do anything outside of the very few set parameters that are given by the system. What we've done is we've given all of our power to our egoic program. And that's what the ego is. Another word for conditioning is programming. We are trapped in the prison of the mind. Our conditioning are reinforced and held in place by our beliefs. We give it our power, we give it our attention, and we get caught up into it. The purpose of forgetting yourself is to remember yourself, but it becomes more difficult to do that when we stray further and further away from the source of everything that we perceive, which is the self. It's important to take the time to neutralize your ego in order to live in presence, our true home. But we've developed a Stockholm Syndrome with our ego. And Stockholm Syndrome is basically when an abused victim or hostage develops respect and empathy towards their abuser. They leave aside all of the negative behaviors of the captor and focus and defend only the ones that are perceived as good. And this is where we do not see that the egoic mind causes us more harm than good. So we must reprogram our unconscious mind through positive reinforcement and repetition, just enough to reach a little load where negativity, confusion, and fear dwell. We must neutralize these thoughts, and this way we calm our limbic system, our fight-flight, and causes less stress and brings us into more stillness, more peace. Every time you make an effort to overcome egoic programming, the power of light comes forward to guide and assist us in the direction of our internal guidance system. Give your full attention in saying I am, with nothing associated with that or added after that. There's a big difference between stating a preference or a noun than speaking a deeper underlying truth. Be in touch with the one life that is living you. Stay true as the I am. It is your nature to love and to be love. Love means seeing things as they are, the underlying oneness of all things. You stay as the observing, non-conceptualized space that witnesses everything. Then you see yourself as life, and life can never die, for life is the godly principle of all.